Hello and Assalamualaikum. Welcome. Thank you for stopping by. My name is Muhammad Fawwaz, and today in this video, I will talk about overview of Occupational Safety and Health Officer Regulations 1997. Before we start, I would like to give an introduction. Occupational Safety and Health Officer Regulation 1997 is a regulation by Federal Subsidiary Legislation, which is a Civil Aviation Authority of Malaysia. This regulation falls under Occupational Safety and Health Act 1994 in bracket Act 540. The regulation has been published on 21st August 1997 and come into operation on 22nd August 1997. The 10-page regulation contains 6 parts and 21 regulations. The PDF format of the regulation is always available for access on official DOSH, which is Department of Occupational Safety and Health website. Before we go through the regulations one by one, let us go through the index. On part 1, which is preliminary, it contains 3 regulations. Part 2, which is registration of a safety and health officer, contains 10 regulations. Next, on part 3, we have notification of a safety and health officer, only contain 1 regulation. Part 4, duties of an employer, which contains 3 regulations. Part 5, duties of a safety and health officers, that contains 3 regulations. And lastly, part 6, miscellaneous, that only contains 1 regulation. At the end of this regulation, we have 2 schedules with a form for application for registration and form for renewal of registration. Part 1, preliminary. Here, the regulation 1 for citation and commencement. It states here, if we want to cite this regulation, it can be cited as Occupational Safety and Health Officer Regulation 1997. Next, Regulation 2, Interpretation. It states here that any continuous education program, that means a course, seminar, conference or other educational program that have related to occupational safety and health, must be approved by the Director General. Next, Regulation 3, which is application. So these regulations are applied to any person of safety and health officer, and also the person who are required to employ safety and health officer under this act. Next, part 2, registration of a safety and health officer. Regulation 4, which is registration. No person shall act as safety and health officer unless he is registered with the Director General. So, every safety and health officer must be registered under the Director General. Next, Regulation 5, application for registration. Each application for registration of safety and health officer shall be made in the form as specified in Schedule 1. In the end of this video, I will show you the form. Next, the application for registration shall be submitted to the Director General together with any document and information that are specified in the form, with a processing fee of 100 ringgit. Next, we continue. Still on part 2, Regulation 6, which is qualification for registration. So, the person who qualifies to register for Occupational Safety and Health must hold a diploma in Occupational Safety and Health or equivalent, approved by the Minister on the recommendation of Director General, or has successfully completed a course of training in Occupational Safety and Health and passed the examination for that course, approved by the Minister under the recommendation still of the recommendation of Director General, and minimum has 3 years experience in Occupational Safety and Health. Next, has been working in the area of Occupational Safety and Health for at least 10 years or full such other qualification, or has received such training as prescribed from time by the Minister. Next, a person shall not be entitled to be registered as a Safety and Health Officer if he or she convicted of any offence under the Act of any regulations made under the Act, convicted of any offence of sentence to more than 1 year imprisonment or a fine that more than 2,000 ringgit, and declared as a bankrupt. If you are a bankrupt, you cannot apply for this registration. Next, Regulation 7, which is Certificate of Registration. If any application for registration as Safety and Health Officer has been approved, the Director General should issue to the applicant a certificate. Next, Regulation 8, Compulsory attendance in any continuous education program. All Safety and Health Officers should attend continuous education program for at least once in a year for the purpose of renewal of registration. Next, Regulation 9, Refusal to register. The Director General may refuse to register any application for registration made under Regulation 5 if he is satisfied that the applicant does not meet the requirement. Next, Regulation 10, which is duration of registration. The registration as a Safety and Health Officer shall be valid for a period of 3 years from the date of registration. And lastly, Regulation 11, Renewal of registration. An application for the renewal of registration as Safety and Health Officer shall be made in the prescribed form specified in Schedule 2. Recommended is a processing fee of 50 ringgit. If you want to renew your registration as a Safety and Health Officer, you need to fill the form in Schedule 2, which I will show in the last video, in the end of the video, and fee for 50 ringgit. Next, we still in part 2, this is registration of Safety and Health Officer. Regulation 12, the Director General may refuse to renew registration if the applicant has ceased to become a Safety and Health Officer or is a registered Safety and Health Officer who has not been appointed as a Safety and Health Officer under the Act with the registration or renewal, has not met any requirement stipulated under this regulation, has failed to conduct his duties as stipulated under the Act of any regulation made under the Act, or has not shown any evidence that he has attended any continuous education program or the equivalent. Next, Regulation 13, which is the last regulation for Part 2, cancellation of registration. The Director General may cancel the registration of Safety and Health Officer at any time if the applicant has ceased to become a Safety and Health Officer, has been convicted to any offence under the Act or any regulation made under the Act, has not met any requirement that's stipulated under this regulation, and or have obtained registration by misrepresentation or fraud. Next, part 3, notification of a safety and health officer. This part contains only one regulation. So an employer shall notify in writing to the Director General within 1 month of any appointment of a safety and health officer or termination or registration of a safety and health officer. Next, part 4, duties of an employer. Regulation 15, facilities. Any employer of a place of work shall provide the safety and health officer employed by him adequate facilities, including training equipment and appropriate information to enable the safety and health officer to conduct his duties as required under the Act. Next, Regulation 16, Continuous Education Program. The employer shall permit the safety and health officer at least once in a year to attend any continuous education program to enhance his knowledge on occupational safety and health. And lastly, Regulation 17, the last regulation under this part. Investigation into any accident, etc. An employer shall direct one supervisor or who has direct control on person or activity of the place of work to assist the safety and health officer in any investigation of accident, near miss accident, dangerous occurrence, occupational poisoning, or occupational disease. Next, part 5, duties of safety and health officers. That contains 3 regulations, which is Regulation 18, 19, and 20. Regulation 18, duties of safety and health officers. In Regulation 18, there are stated 9 duties of safety and health officers. The first one is to advise the employer or any person in charge of a place of work on the measures to be taken in the interest of the safety and health of the persons employed in the place of work. Number 2 is to inspect the place of work to determine whether any machinery, plant, equipment, substance, appliance or process of any description of manual labor used in the place of work is of much nature liable to cause bodily injury to any person working in the place of work. Number 3 is to investigate any accident, near miss accident, dangerous occurrence, occupational poisoning, or occupational disease which has happened in the place of work. Number 4 is to assist the employer or the Safety and Health Committee if any pursuant to Regulation 11 of the Occupational Safety and Health Committee, Regulation 1996, in organizing and implementing occupational safety and health program at the place of work. Next, we're still on duties of safety and health officers, which is number 5, to become secretary to the Safety and Health Committee if any as specified under subregulation 6 in bracket of the Occupational Safety and Health Committee, Regulation 1996, and perform all functions of the secretary as specified in the regulation. Number 6, to assist the Safety and Health Committee in any inspection of the place of work for the purpose of checking the effectiveness and efficacy of any measures taken in compliance with the Act of any regulation made under the Act. Next, number 7, to collect, analyze and maintain statistics of any accident, dangerous occurrence, occupational poisoning, and occupational disease which have occurred in the place of work. Number 8. To assist any officer in carrying out his duty under the Act or any regulations made under the Act. And lastly, to carry out any other instruction made by the employer of any other person in charge of the place of work on any matters pertaining to safety and health of the place of work. Next, Regulation 19. Safety and Health Officer to submit reports. So, a Safety and Health Officer shall, before the 10th of a proceeding month, submit a report pertaining to his activities to the employer. The report submitted under Subregulation 1 shall contain, but no limited to, the following particulars. There are 9 particulars, which is the first one: any action to be taken by the employer in order to comply with the requirements of the Act or any regulation made under the Act. Number 2, method of establishing and maintaining a safe and healthy working condition in the place of work. Number 3, the number and types of accident, near-miss accident, dangerous occurrence, occupational poisoning, or occupational disease which have occurred in the place of work, including the number of persons injured, either incurring lost time injury or no lost time injury. Next, number 4. Any machinery, plant, equipment, appliance, structures or process, or any description of manual labor used in the place of work which is of such nature liable to cause bodily injury to any person working in the place of work. Number 5. Any machinery, plant, equipment, appliance, or any personal protective equipment required for the purpose of minimizing of any such risk. Next, in the report, the Occupational Safety and Health Officer should recommend any alteration to be made to the structure or layout of the place of work in the interest of safety and health of the persons employed therein. Number 7. Any work related to safety and health which has been carried out by any person or group of persons engaged by the employer in order to promote safety and health in the place of work. Number 8. Any outstanding matter arising from the previous report specified under paragraph A to G. Or lastly, number 9, any other matters related to safety and health of persons working in a place of work. And lastly, the last regulation for part 5, which is Regulation 20, action to be taken on a report. Number 1, an employer or any person in charge of a place of work after receiving the report under Regulation 19 shall not later than 2 weeks after the receipt discuss the report with the Safety and Health Officer. Number 2, an employer or any person in charge of the place of work shall countersign the report in order to confirm that he has received it. And number 3, the report shall be kept in a good condition at least for a period of 10 years for the purpose of inspection or investigation by the officer if necessary. We have come to the last part of this regulation, which is part 6, miscellaneous. The Regulation 21, death, sickness and absence from work of a safety and health officer. In the case of death, sickness or absence from work of a safety and health officer, the Director General may, notwithstanding the provisions of these regulations, authorize the employer by certificate in writing, allow work to be carried out for a period not exceeding 3 calendar months without the safety and health officer. Before I end this video, as I promised before, I will show you the Schedule 1 and the Schedule 2, which is the form for application for registration and form for renewal of registration. For Schedule 1, the forms are divided into three, which is personal particulars, education, and declaration. That's all from me. Thank you for watching. I hope you can gain benefit from this video. See you next time.